Hello and welcome everybody to Bish's RV here in Coldwater, Michigan at my hometown store. Taking a look at a 29RKS Cougar, and I haven't had a chance to get my hands on this model in like 2 or 3 seasons. I'm glad to see some updates here, and the 23 updates looking mighty fine on what I'm going to call this dual kitchen couples camper. You have an awesome kitchen with a big wraparound peninsula style counter space on the inside, and a full-size camp kitchen on the outside, although it does lack a sink. So if we want to say it's a cooking station or convenience center, not a kitchen, okay, I'm down with that. Speaking of things I'm down with, how about the Goodyear Endurance radials that are now standard instead of optional? They are now standard with TPMS prep, which is an easy thing just to slap on this baby. We got the parts in the shop if you want it. Also now a tankless on-demand water heater. So if someone's cooking up a storm in that kitchen, but you also want to take a hot shower, you have to decide who gets the hot water and who gets the cold. Or you can take back-to-back hot showers and nobody has to freeze the dickens off of themselves, as it were. That was dangerously close to being an HR incident. Neither here nor there. We've got a beautifully updated exterior facelift on this. Automatic leveling, 0 to 110 degree rated. Cougars are actually, I think, one of the best brands out there for weathering. A lot of people worry about what's the cold camp capability, but most of us are camping when it's scorching hot, and that's actually where Cougars shine and excel above and beyond most brands, in fact. This is not going to be a model for everybody. Like, the road mode traveling access on this is limited. It comes with a weird factory camp queen instead of a true queen, even though there's room for a true queen in there. But I will share good, bad, ugly in different facts like that and let you folks decide if this is the right one for you. There's some things that are optional that we're going to talk about, some other choices that you might have, and I can't wait to hear what you think about this one. And if you appreciate the fair way we go about things, or the fact that I'm getting blinded by the light like Manfred Mann out here, hit that subscribe button. Join us on our next video, and for now, let me know what you think of this one as we go.
Man, I don't know what's going on in this bedroom, but it smells like a sweaty nerd in here, but... Oh. Wait. That's just me.
And man, if that don't start your fire, I'm afraid your wood might be wet.
I don't even know what that means. I heard it at a rodeo, and I was like, I like the way that rolls off the tongue. Neither here nor there. Obviously, I know what it means. I'm being stupid. Giving you a look at this thing. I like this floor plan because this is one of those instances where they took like a monster, like giant 45-foot rear kitchen full-timers fifth wheel and said, what could we do to make that more portable, to make that more mobile friendly? While still maintaining one of the cool things with the Cougar, the full-time RV warranty assurance that a lot of people like. That's kind of what this one is. It's got a great middle living rear kitchen, but by virtue of the fact that you have that peninsula counter there, to me, even though it is one open room, it still has enough definition. The thing that I like about it is the clarity, the kitchen back there, dining and living up front here. Like, it works for me. Now, you've got a choice between the booth dinette and the table and chairs that we're looking at right here. I'd be kind of curious to know on a floor plan like this, which one would be your preference? And being fair, this one has great window coverage, albeit on the driver's side of the RV, where you'll mostly get a look at the neighbors, depending on where you're camping. Now in the back here, we're looking at the 12-volt DC compressor fridge. There is a gas-electric two-way option that's 8 cubic foot. That one right there, a little bit over 10 cubic foot on that Furrion fridge. Giving us more cooling capacity, much faster, greater storage. It's the way that I would like to go with this, but again, kind of like the table and chairs, I'd be curious to know which fridge would you go with. But remember, you've always got at least 200 watts of standard factory solar, no matter what, and you can upgrade on a Cougar to 400 and 600. Now, it doesn't have amazing door side window coverage, but one of the things that I do like is that they do sacrifice a bit of cabinet space, but they give us this nice big viewing window. I almost wish it just went up higher to really maximize that effect, and that rear wall window, I think, does help. Cougar has obviously facelifted the exterior. The interior decor hasn't really changed since last year. One of the things that I like, though, this thing just has a huge amount of countertop prep space. The amount of, room back here for prep work is fantastic. And in case you're curious on this rear wall, you have some household outlets up there, household and USB outlets over there. And that set of household outlets is actually run to the inverter wiring. By the way, not the 16-inch Easy Bake Oven, but the larger, like roughly 22-inch oven, which is kind of cool. And that's a Furrion oven, which basically means it won't start pumping gas until it detects a spark. So you can't turn that thing into a rambling, gambling, camping bomb, basically. Big giant 4K Jumbotron up there above the electric space heat and bunion burner, toenail toast and footsie fryer, whatever we want to call it today. You folks at home have helped me come up with some amazing names for that device. Many of my nerdisms, by the way, viewer submitted entries. You folks truly greater at this stuff than I am. Now, the slide floor is completely carpetless. You might notice, though, Cougar is a vented flooring brand. They are doing that to provide maximum effectiveness, function, and even heating in a cold camp situation. That might be a deal breaker. You might say, I could cover those up. You might say, hey, I like that because that keeps my feet warmer when I walk around the camper. There's no wrong answer to that. It's just a matter of which one works for you. And take a look at this. You folks are the reason this is happening, and also the reason it will be soon improving. Not just a window in the door, but a full shade. And they are going to be getting LCI, the door supplier, to flip that very soon so that the shade pulls from the bottom up. Your input is truly what's making that happen. Now, giving you a little view, what I'm going to say is either from like the nap-in lounge couch over here where we can have, a little conversation corner next to the theater seat. Becky and Carol catching up on old times. Ted and Frank making up lies about the cool things that they've done in their lives. I think we all know how that story pans out. Now, that right there is technically a toe stub or slide, but considering you're not really doing any prep work in it, I don't know that I knock it for that. I will say, the one thing, like, I'd ask you guys, what is the one thing you'd change given the opportunity? Because for me, I really wish there was like a big folding countertop extension right there and a couple fold-away stools or something. Just, I'm a sucker for bar stools. But again, this being a little more compact rear kitchen, they might not have wanted to do that. So, obviously, from the theater seat, you've got sweet direct-facing entertainment. But over here, from the height of bed, also not bad. So if we are having a game day bucket go boom get together, you can just pile everybody up. And what's also kind of cool is the TV can also pivot to face toward the dining. So if you have some friends over, you're watching a movie or whatnot, or you're just sitting there yourself grabbing a bite to eat, you've got the perfect place for it. Now, notice with the table and chairs swaption. Those chairs are totally free-floating, and that's what I'm going to call a no-knee-knocker dining situation, where you have yourself maximum possible room right there. If you're a long-legged goofball like me, who's a little bit prone to being klutzy, that is a very, very nice thing to have. Now, that is a manual ripcord style theater recliner. It does have some USB plugs inset basically on the inside of that console. That being said, this is one of those cases I really wish, you know what? I need your feedback on this. Together, we helped make the change of adding the shade to the entry door. We all need to speak up now, if you agree, of course, to move that plug and that outlet, that heat massage function right there, and put it right here, so that the USB plug would be available without your thigh busting it when it's over there. I have a couch at home, and I've busted 2 USB cords with a very similar situation, so it's not just theoretical. That's something that I've lived through and experienced, maybe not in this RV, but, in life in general. So once again, though, even when it's in its flat-mounted position, this is a fantastic entertainment-focused floor plan with a wicked good kitchen. This is the entertainer's party-in floor plan. So what do I mean by that? Well, everybody knows the party ends in the kitchen, right? That's where the drinks are. That's where the foods are. That's where everyone gravitates to at the end of the day. Being able to be in the kitchen, but still in the flow of things, but also if you are doing a kitchen cook-up, prep-up storm, having that peninsula there to be like, there's a line here, don't cross it, get away from me. It's, without changing anything, it's a very functional and flexible floor plan. Now, getting my sweaty fat face out of the way, moving our way upstairs here, we come right past the in-command center. What is neat about this, you don't necessarily have to punch in the key code, although apparently I've been in this thing recently enough, I also don't need to punch in the key code. But, you can use this like a light switch, but what a lot of people don't realize is that there actually is a full light switch for the RV's main cabin downstairs and one in the bathroom or bedroom upstairs. Now, this right here is very cool. They've gone to a tankless on-demand water heater, and this is the Girard variety right here. What I like about whenever you see a digital display like this, when you can set the temperature, and this allows you to mix hot and cold water to just operate normally, that, to me, that is when these things got very cool, and I'm really excited to see some more of those kind of work their way into the RV market this year. Now, giving us a look around the bathroom here, that is a, you got to kind of see it in person. I don't think the camera's giving it its justice here. It doesn't get its day in court. That's a huge medicine cabinet. That's what I call Lipitorage Storage Galorge. The faucet is off to the side right there. I have used faucets like that. I've never found a problem with them, but opinions might vary. I'd be curious to know what you think about it. And what I thought about this is that is some fantastic toilet space right there on that porcelain foot flush stool. And notice it had a towel bar, not a towel hook. That is also my preference. Additionally, they actually have doors for their bathroom storage, where a lot of manufacturers maybe do not, although the shading coming in from the skylight making that less obvious. And speaking of shower size, it's awesome. There is fantastic headroom up in here. In this class of fifth wheel, people call this the half-ton class. I want to go out of my way again to specify that I don't really know that I call this a half-ton towable fifth wheel, but that's kind of what this classification is known as, the half-ton fifth wheel segment. Anyway, in this class, not every shower can I stand up in like that. And it's very similar to Montana. Again, they took the big luxury fifth wheel features and crammed them down into something a little smaller, but in a way that I don't feel like I've really had to make sacrifices and give up things. These are all going to be 50 amp, by the way, which means they are all second air ready. From the factory, you have a single 15,000 BTU air. I've seen enough comments to know our Texas friends are going to say always second air. 4 airs if you could, Josh. You know what? Different stores in different areas of our country might actually equip these differently. So that's another thing. If you're looking for the booth instead of the table and chairs, it's possible that we have some in stock equipped that way at one of our other stores. More than my home location here carries Cougar fifth wheels. They're a very popular brand. Notice those side stands though. North-south bed. You've got household and USB outlets on both sides, so you want a little stand fan, a little phone charge action, get your smarty pants, watch or whatever, your smart, I don't know, shoes, your smart shirt charge up. Remember Back to the Future 2 when they had size changing clothing? I frankly, I'm not sure we're too far off of that. Anyway, this is a weird thing they do, and I don't fully grasp it, but that is a Camp Queen bed with all the room in the world for a true queen. I think a lot of people are probably going to just chuck this mattress anyway, although if I lift this up, that's not the worst I've ever seen or felt, but that's very personal, very subjective, and everyone's opinion on the quality of a mattress might vary a great, great deal. I shot myself in the foot. I was going to do a nice reveal with some storage before and after open and closed. I already shot that footage, so let's watch the store go from open to also open, because I'm just that stupid, ladies and gentlemen. So you can take a look at the storage space here in the bedroom. Now, those are not hanging wardrobe closets on the sides. All of your hanging storage is located over here in your wardrobe slide. It doesn't have a window, but that means it has more storage, and by putting big mirrors on that thing and a massive window over here on the camp side, they have made it feel not so compact and not so small in here. Little dresser drawer action going on inside there. You know, everybody does it a little bit differently. And if you like this, you're like, man, I just wish they did, you know, don't they have something where the bed's in a slide? Yeah, they have plenty of bed slide models. This just doesn't happen to be one, but it's also shorter, lighter, and less expensive as a result. Now, one of the unspoken benefits, well, until now, because I'm going to speak it, is the thing, is that when you have a north-south non-bed slide like this, there is zero question, especially when, you know, you don't have to do anything goof stupid with the bed to be able to close the slide. That bed is 100% usable and functional in transit. If the mattress, if the bed is in an east-west bed slide and it's retracted, it's not necessarily recommended that you occupy it in transit. And frankly, nobody can really tell you if you can't, I left that flipped up. Pink juice. Let's see who can get this movie reference in the comment section. Weasley the Jet Ooze. All right, that is potentially one of the greatest pieces of cinematic mastery ever conceived. Regardless, more importantly, back to the RV and road mode. Downstairs, it's not good news. When the slides are closed, first of all, the fridge is buried behind that slide right there. This is a model that is really best operated, at a destination rather than in transit. Although, depending on the level of solar package you get, or if you add an inverter to the RV, the outside fridge in the camp kitchen might be accessible.
And ooh, baby, I love the rays coming off the sun. Another little musical reference there for you. Just giving us a beautiful look at this thing. I like this new exterior color scheme that they got going on here. To me, it just feels a little bit more, I don't know, grown up. I don't know how else to describe it. Couple things here. Despite being one of their smaller fifth wheels, they still outfit this with the same shock dampening pin box that you find on the big cat Cougars, and the same road armor suspension package, very similar to Moride, that you'll get a look at in just a few minutes here. Now up front we have ourselves the Giggy box. That is the technical way of saying it. But basically that is a battery disconnect on steroids that does some other good things for us. But you may notice too, the prep now for factory TPMS to go along with the now standard Goodyears. However, I do want to be fully clarified on something, kind of like butter. You want to clarify your butter. The little cooking joke for you. I'm on a roll, like a bread roll. This is not Goodyear. Interestingly, your spare tire is not the same as the rest of the tires. It's the same size, obviously, but it's not the same, I don't know, caliber, if you want to call it that, of tire. Automatic leveling, 4-point on a fifth wheel this small. This isn't quite big enough to be 6-point leveling. And you know what? I have a really good opportunity here that I don't always have. I have plenty of battery power, I have plenty of space. I want to show you the awning before and after so that you can decide if there's enough space under it with that slide sticking out the middle of it. And as we've started having full lots once again, I've had less and less of an opportunity to do this, but I thought, you know what? If I have the chance, I'm going to showcase everything I can on an RV, and I want to hear from you folks. Once you've seen this, I'd like you to comment and say, did they waste the awning space? Is there still a good functional awning space, patio space available? I do think a chunk of it is certainly occupied by that slide. And, it kind of becomes questionable. Could you put like a couple chairs and a picnic table over here? Or if you notice the fact that the awning actually does go over past the slide, although not all the way to the back of the RV due to the profile, the way it tapers down in the back. I want to hear from you folks. Is this awesome? Is this awful? And there's no wrong answers to this. I think two different people might have two very different looks at this, and I just kind of want to give potential shoppers and buyers some food for thought, some things to think about. A couple of the cool things on this, that is still an easy adjust power awning. With 2 fingers, you can crank one side of it down and get some water runoff. The cool thing is it's also a self-correcting awning, so if you leave one side of it all kitty-wampus and retract it, it's not going to smash anything up. One of the things you might have noticed, very, very tall outside camp kitchen door. Like if I stand directly under this, you can tell that obviously there's plenty of clearance. I have to reach way, way up here. But if we want to call this a camp kitchen, if we want to call it something else, because it does lack a sink, due to the fact that to actually run plumbing and stay up to code, when a slide is already elevated above the floor like this, the sink would have had to have been in your face, like some ESPN extreme sport. Well, they didn't want to do that, so they, didn't. I'm just on a roll today. But also making sure that that awning doesn't turn into a kite in the breeze. I thought it'd be a good idea to close that down and just give you, I tell you, I like the way they dress up that big camp kitchen door. I know it's obviously just the Cougar logo, but I don't know, to me, it's aesthetically pleasing. I also like that they aren't slathered full of Nike Adidas swooshes the way that I slather peanut butter and jelly onto toast. I like toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a little bit better, a little more texture. And I'm telling you, whoever invented toast is an absolute legend. They're like, hey, you see this bread that's already been cooked? Cook it again. And I'm gonna call it toast. Someone's like, dude, that bread is toast. He's like, I like that name. That's a good name for it. And I don't know if that's exactly how it happened, but I like to think that's how it happened, the creation of toast. You saw the 300-pound rated accessory hitch on the back and the stinky slinky sewer hose. Taking a look up top and giving you a look up there. Once again, Cougar is a very, very good RV for hot climate camping, but a lot of times in this industry we only generally seem to talk about cold camp capability. Well, Cougar has radiant barrier belly up the nose, across the roof. They have a good furnace. They have 12-volt tank heaters standard on these, but they also have a basically a polar white exterior that is reflecting more heat from the sun, and it helps keep this thing cooler. And they're one of the best brands that I know of out there for hot climate camping. So my Texas, California, Arizona, whatever friends, this would be a solid one for you. This is one of the 23 updates right here where they got rid of the fabric-y stuff on the base here. Now there's still a little bit on the sidewalls. A lot of brands do that. But down here we have cargo. They basically now have that toy hauler style industrial flooring. This is the base Solar Flex 200 package. Every single Keystone comes with at least this, where we do have inverter prep to several outlets in the RV. You actually can disconnect your solar and your battery separately. So if you disconnect the battery with the Gigi box, you can still keep the solar coming in, or if you ever wanted to for some reason, you could shut the solar off. And sometimes for long-term storage, it's not a bad idea to make sure the charge controller doesn't basically get burned out. You have at least a 15 amp Victron charge controller. When you get the more advanced packages, those will bump up to 30s and sometimes multiples thereof. Enclosed, privatized docking center, and another 23 update, the tankless on-demand water heater. So that basically, as long as you got propane and you got 12 volt, folks, you have yourselves hot water. Now, hot water is something I'm very good at getting myself into, and we're about to touch on some of that. But first, just a second. Standard Goodyear tires now versus the, I believe they were Trailer Kings or something like that last year, which were okay, but Goodyears are 87 mile an hour rated American made. Not necessarily foolproof, but I think a lot of people have more peace of mind on that. If you look back there, you see that sewer cap dangling? Well, this is where I'm about to get myself in some hot water, because that is your kitchen gray tank, and this is your bathroom black and gray tank up here. Because the bathroom and the kitchen are split so far apart on this one, they did set it up with a 2-stage sewer dump. So you do have to either jump hoses or something like that. And if you notice, that sewer outlet back there is dead under the slide. Give me just a minute. No, I can see it from here. The pull valve on that actually is under the slide. I know that that is an instant deal breaker for some folks, and it kind of breaks my heart to share that because I think we've talked about so many cool things. There were probably a lot of people who were watching this until just now and went, well, you had a deal and you just blew it. The thing is, I'm okay with that, because I want you to find your second camper the first time. And that's why I take the time to put these videos together, to show you the things that are awesome with the things that are maybe less awesome, so that you can make sure let's be fair, you're spending a lot of money to buy one of these. I want you to make sure you're getting one that you're going to be as happy with as possible. And if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button. So let me know what you think about the update footage on this one and the updates that Cougar is going through. Like, if you've seen one of these in the past, are they moving the right direction? About the only other thing I think I'd like to see on this is if it just had some kind of like flip up countertop extension bar with a couple little fold away stools or something. But I do suspect there's some real handy DIY folks at home that could probably come up with something like that. Anyway, let me know what you think. I think that they're moving the right direction, but that's just me. And of course I say that. In a sense, I guess my paycheck depends on it, although I don't work in sales myself. So I always like to hear from you folks at home. Where did they nail it? Where did they fail it? I would normally say I'd leave you some links to something similar. There's not a whole lot of similar stuff to this out there. Not good. Ugh. Excuse me. Pardon me. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Apparently I'm allergic to long videos. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.